Hey, you, welcome back to the channel. And guys, today we want to talk about the Luke Cage season 2 trailer, which broke a lot of treats in there. We got a lot of characters who come from the comic books. We've also seen some various photos released of some of the things that we're going to get in the Luke Cage season 2 episodes. And of course, one of these things being that was quite impressive, we got this photo released of Detective Misty Knight. We remember she lost her arm in the Defender series, and from Bakuto, a finger of the hand, one of the hand's members. And obviously in this trailer, we get to see her with a bionic limb. Just like in the comic book, she had the bionic arm. And not quite sure who's responsible for designing this arm for her. According to the comic books, it's actually done by the Stark Corporation. But with her close ties and connections to Danny Rand and the Rand Corporation, some believe it might be a product of the Rand Corporation, and that Danny Rand's maybe behind her getting this bionic limb. Of course, if they did tie in Stark Enterprises, that would tie the Marvel television shows even closer to the Marvel expanded universe, or what we see on the silver screen. Because they do drop a lot of hints about the bigger characters in the Marvel universe. It's the Hulk, Thor, and various things like that. Incident that happened in New York, and a lot of the beginnings of many of their seasons, they talked about the incident in New York. But we get Luke Cage, back. And in the trailer, we get him talking. It looks like he's talking to us, talking to the camera, but starting to believe maybe that's within an actual scene of the episode, and he might actually be talking to whoever's trying to kill him, as we get this large explosion with him coming out engulfed in flames, and he's letting who tried to kill him know, hey, I'm bulletproof, I'm fireproof, and so I'm basically, you're not going to be able to get rid of me that easy. And I like that trailer. We also got to see Danny Rand in the end, and his hands glowing. He seems to be protecting the city. We know that Daredevil, was is laying in a convent somewhere with a nurse over him, so he's unable now to protect Hell's Kitchen, but maybe Danny Rand's kind of filling in, kind of watching over the city. We also know that Danny Rand will be part of the Heroes for Hire. That's probably coming out, and we also going to have again Misty Knight in here. Might get an appearance from Colleen Wing. Who knows? Because they're all tied together. And as I had said in some earlier episodes of Netflix Marvel shows, that it probably wasn't necessary for everyone to have their own show. They had talked about getting Misty Knight a show with Colleen Wing. Of course, we got Iron Fist. Now they're talking about maybe Luke Cage and Danny Rand as Heroes for Hire. But I think the show's done well with just letting people merge onto existing shows already. And although I think all the shows have done pretty well, I think a lot of information going about now is that they're going to focus more so on just standalone episodes. We may not be seeing another Defenders type situation. Now, some other information is Luke Cage, who's going to be the villain. We know in the first season of Luke Cage, we got Cottonmouth, who was a great a villain, and the actor who plays him, I believe, actually won an Oscar in the film Moonlight, and I can see why he won an Oscar, because he did an excellent job in Luke Cage, and we can see kind of a lot of people felt Luke Cage kind of started to spiral a bit after the death of Cottonmouth. They killed him off a little too soon. Maybe they had to kill him off because he had a lot of other obligations, because he was a great actor. And I would have liked to see him complete the first season of Luke Cage, but then he's replaced by Diamondback, and we know Diamondback's been left in a hospital, and of course, he's Luke Cage's brother, and we get to see the scientist who actually was able to through experiments, produce the experiment that caused Luke Cage to gain his powers, and that a lot of thoughts are Diamondback might be also able to undergo the same experiment and gain powers like Luke Cage. But there is another option there with the onset of new characters being introduced. One main villain being, which is known in the comics as Bushmaster, and he's this type of Afro-Caribbean character that in the comics is able to undergo the experimental treatment Luke Cage did, and was able to gain Luke Cage powers, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll all be very interesting to see. I like the trailer I'm seeing so far, and looking forward to the second season of Luke Cage. I think it'll do well. Guys, if you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.